Today we will be beginning our year-end reflection on the core competencies. So we will be starting with the core competency of communication. For each of these, I will give you a brief overview of what the competency is. I will give you some reflection prompts, and you can choose one of those to present your own reflection. Your reflection can be done in any format of your choosing, but must be in depth enough to be equivalent to like a 5 sentence paragraph. The first core competency we will be looking at is communication. So the communication competency is includes the set of abilities that you have to impart or to share and exchange information, experiences, and ideas. It also helps you to explore the world around you and to understand and engage with the use of digital media. This competency is kind of the bridge between your learning and your personal and social identity and relationships and the world where you interact with them. For each of these core competencies, I will go through the different components they suggest that there are in the curriculum, along with a series of sample statements of what you can do that might fall within this core competency. So, the first major section in communication is connecting and engaging with others to share and develop ideas. So, some sample things that people can do in this are to ask and respond to simple or direct questions. This is something we do in class, both in our lessons and informally when you're working with friends. It also has to do with listening. I am an active listener. I support and encourage the person speaking. So do you actually help them to communicate in the way you engage with them? And I recognize that there are different points of view and I can disagree respectfully, right? How do you communicate with someone when you don't share the same ideas or the same beliefs or opinions? The second aspect of communication is inquiring, interpreting, and presenting information. This includes inquiries, like what we did in science recently for our electromagnetism project. You were given a variety of ways that you could present and gather your information. So some examples of statements that you could make are, I can understand and share information about a topic that is important to me, right? Can you actually pass on information? I present information clearly and in an organized way. I can present information and ideas to an audience I may not know. Sometimes we're writing things for people we don't know, right? Like just with our FSAs. They went on to be marked and read by people that we had never met before. The third aspect of communication is collaborating to plan, carry out, and review constructions and ideas. So an example of when we did this is during our Halloween games, our ADST project for that. So you also, if you've chosen to do our recent social studies, create your own civilization thing with a partner, this would be another time when you're collaborating. So I can work with others to achieve a common goal. I do my share. I can take on roles and responsibilities in a group. How do you divvy up what needs to happen? I can summarize key ideas and identify the ways that we agree, the commonalities that you have, not just focusing on the differences. And the final aspect of communication is being able to explain or recount and reflect on experiences and accomplishments. We would have done this a lot during our self-reflections for the student-led conferencing. So I give, receive, and act on feedback. So when I or your classmate or another teacher gives you feedback on how to improve, do you actually take it and use it? I can recount simple experiences and activities and tell something I learned. I can represent my learning and tell how it connects to my experiences and efforts. So this is not all that is encompassed in communication, but it helps to give us a brief idea of what this core competency involves, and hopefully has helped you think of a few areas this year or in past years where you have engaged in effective communication. You will be responsible for sharing a reflection on each of the core competencies. So that doesn't mean one for each of those 4 qualities that we looked at under communication, but just one reflection for communication. Following this slide, I'll give you some prompts that you can use, but first I wanted to discuss different ways that you could share your reflection. I am very happy for you to share your reflection in whatever way you would like. Some examples that kids have done in the past are often students just want to write because it's familiar, so it would need to be at least 5 sentences long. You could make a video, you could make a poster, however you feel you can present your reflection best. Now, one of the things that I want you to encourage you to do is to think of specific examples from this year that you can use in your reflections. Give us evidence of how you communicate. Don't just say this is what I would do, but here's also a situation where I did it. Here are the 4 prompts that you could choose to reflect on. So when you're doing your reflection, you can start by including what was your prompt and then share your reflection. So if you just want to do this in writing, feel free to put this into a Google document and then I can copy and paste it into your report card. Otherwise, you can upload a picture, upload a video of you sharing your reflection. So your first prompt is describe a form of communication you are proud of. What would you like others to notice about it? So this needs to be at least 5+ sentences, but explain why this is a form of communication that you are proud of. Your second one is to describe ways that you contribute to discussions. So if you can, in at least 5 sentences, describe how you help to participate. Do you add on to others' ideas? Do you listen respectfully? Do you build on? Do you contribute? Are you willing to talk when no one else is? The third option is explain what you do when you disagree with someone in your group. How did you learn this strategy? Now, this could be something that you also include a specific example of, here is when I disagreed with someone in my group and here is how I handled it. Try to focus on things that you are proud of to show that you did handle it well. And the last one is simply just describe how you share ideas and questions. So what are the different ways that you communicate with your classmates, with your teachers, with anybody within the school? And really, this doesn't have to pertain to in school, but it should be within this last school year, like since September. That's what we're aiming for. But if you are like, you know what? No, I have a really good way of handling disagreements or things in musical theater or on this sports team or wherever you are, feel free to reflect on that as well, but try to make it within this school year.